All right. Hi, welcome. This is the Hermitpack. I'm D-Nightshade1. I've been playing in this world for a little bit. I'm actually recording this to try to help some people out for easier ways to get all the wood and from forestry. I've been watching Stress Monster, and she's been kind of struggling and saw the pretty woods, and I figured I'd make another video for her. All right. So, what you're going to need is you're going to need a couple of pieces of machinery. You need the mutagen producer, and then I'm just storing it in a quantum tank. And then a mutatron, along with genetics labware. Okay? So basically, you throw in redstone or glowstone into here. It produces the mutagen, which I'm now storing in the quantum tank, and then outputting it in here. You need 1 millibucket in order to do a mutation of a species. So, for example, I have a bunch of drones in this grid system from enhanced storage, I think it is, refined storage. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take a Meadows Princess and a drone, forest drone. I'm going to pick that one, okay? And then I can throw it in here. Then use it up a bucket, which goes immediately refilled, one of the genetic labware, and it goes through the process. And if everything goes right, I should have, a common drone, which I have my system automatically sending out here into this industrial apiary, so that I can actually convert it from from a queen to princess and drone, because I actually need the princesses if I'm going to then take the common drone. If you're just curious, common drone in a forest, I can get cultivated, etc. and so forth. So if I take a common and a cultivated, I could get a noble. Or a common and a cultivated could be a diligent. And then any of the base ones, common and marshy, all these will all create cultivateds. If I take a common and a diligent, I also have a possibility of getting a red. Red queens, they actually have all the various colors, will produce color drops. So you can actually breed the bees to make color for dyes, which actually works pretty well. Okay, so that's how the mutagen and the mutatron works. Once that is done, it actually tosses all the products back in here. You just see that one up by one as it pulled it out of there. So, in order to be able to do the trees, what you need to do is you need to collect pollen. But in order to collect pollen, you actually need to set up a tropical queen to produce silky combs. So you need the jungle emulation upgrade first, so that I can actually throw these in. If I pull out this, it actually tells me it's too cold and too dry here. But if I put this in here, they think it's great. It's warm and damp. It's actually creating that in the hive itself. So the bees go out and produce for me, which make the silky combs. Take the silky combs, throw them into a centrifuge, and it will make honey drops and silky propolises. So yeah, I have a lot of honey in here, but the propolises are actually what I'm after. Okay, so I'm going to take a couple of those. You then take the silky propolis and throw it into another centrifuge, and it has a chance to create the regular propolises or silk wisps. The silk wisps are actually what you actually need to make the, this is all in GenDustry, the sieve upgrade. Okay, so you need 7 of them around an upgrade frame, which is just tin, redstone, and a couple of gold nuggets, and a bronze gear, which is a basic gear around with bronze bars. Bronze bars are, you can either do it that way or oh gee, interesting. I actually have it auto crafting on everything. But if I take copper and tin, just throw bars into my grid, I actually can create the bronze ingots from forestry. So, easy enough to get. Okay? Once you actually have those sieve upgrades, okay, it will eventually give you pollen. Okay? Depending on what your bees are, like the industrious queens, these actually are really nice because they actually give you pollen clusters, which you use to make the scented panelings for the alvearies, which at some point in time I may actually do, just because, you know, these are nice. I can actually tick rate them up and all that, but it's the pollens that I want. Okay, using the pollen, if I go U on that, going to tree, so I can just take a silver birch sapling and an apple oak and get a silver lime. So if I actually had, the silver birch is just a regular birch, the apple oak is forestry's regular oak trees. So, for example, if I go birch, I have just a regular plain old birch sapling from Minecraft. And if I go oak, I have a regular oak sapling from Minecraft. If I take them and throw them into the portable analyzer, it now tells me it's now a silver birch sapling from forestry, which is actually what you need. And then this is an apple oak. Okay? I then take, for example, it was silver birch. I have my apple oak pollen. I can put that in here, and it then goes through and tries to make the mutation. Depending on whether or not it works, yep, there you go. I have now just created a silver lime sapling. From here, once you actually start getting these, a couple of things you need to note. As you use the tree breeding, okay, so I could take the silver lime with the apple oak, make the hill cherry. If I hold this, the big one to note is that the H is, G, girth, is 1 by 1. That means I only need 1 sapling. That's 1 sapling. That's a 1 sapling. 1, 1, 1. But as you go up, if I used on the trees, walnut, I need a 2x2. So I actually need 4 of the common walnut saplings in order to make a tree. Same thing with the sweet chestnut. Okay? So you do have to pay attention to what your girth is. If I come back here and I go, I think it's this one. Nope, I can't actually. This produces chestnuts and the chestnut wood. But if I actually look at saplings, okay, I know like the baobab sapling. Oops. If I hit R on that, that's a 3x3. So I actually need 9 saplings in order to grow this, in order to get the saplings off of it. Now, planting them, having them grow into trees, harvesting the leaves and all that, you can do. But one of the pieces of equipment that I highly suggest that you get is the industrial grafter. The other one is the power scoop if you're actually going to go out and collect bees. Oh boy, that is so unorganized. I actually don't think the scoop's in there. It's not in there either. Oh, what is it called? At GenDustry. Scooperator MX200 Turbo. I'm probably just missing it. Yep, I'm probably just missing it, but cool thing about those is rather than like the common grafters or things like that, you can actually, this actually uses power rather than using up the common or the better grafters. Okay? And you can actually just go click on there. Oh, it's actually got to be a forestry tree. Forgot about that. So these are the apple oak leaves, and they will always drop saplings. One for every leaf block that you actually break. So there are some trees that only have a few leaf blocks. It's a good way to get extra, saplings and make sure you have enough saplings. Yes, it eats up the power pretty quick, but it doesn't take long to recharge it. So, as you can see, I have gone through and actually done a bunch of the trees. I believe I have them all. I believe I have them all out there. Go ahead and dump these back into my system. Get rid of all the stuff that I don't want. So for a few pieces of equipment, it's easy to actually mutate and get the trees that you want. Out here, we'll go through each of the various ones one by one. Yep. Ipe wood planks, an ipe wood. This is the cherry wood. Maho wood. Kapok wood. Larch. Lime. Mahogany. Maple. Ebony. I kind of like that plank. Balsa, which is actually a pretty plain lightish gray block. I believe it'll go pretty well with stone and things like that. You have the desert acacia, baobab, citrus for your lemons and limes and things like that, chestnut, cocobolo, which actually I really like that. I was thinking about doing a floor that way. The planks are actually pretty nice looking too. You have pine, walnut, plum, wengewood, willowwood, zebrawood, poplar, sequoia. Says it's fireproof. I have actually not tested that. Palm, podock, papaya, and last but not least, the teak. I actually really like the teak wood bark and the planks. I'm actually using that as my flooring material here, along with the spruce to give it a little pop of color. All of these planks you can make stairs out of and slabs and things like that. But I actually thought that the woods go well together. Okay, so for a few basic pieces of equipment, this is what you need to do. Highly recommend getting the Industrious Queens. Basically, you need Diligent and Unwary. Diligent we know how to get, showed you how to do that. That's pretty easy. The Unweary, if you take a Diligent and a Cultivated, you can get Unweary. So Diligent and Cultivated is Unweary. Believe that is the only thing that comes out of there. Yeah. So you can easily come up with, whatever bee species you need. Couple of things to pay attention on the bees is what you're looking for are pristine stock. Pristine stock are not going to die off. You may have a chance to lose them and get genetic waste as you put them through the Mutatron, but once they're actually out and producing, you don't have to worry about them. They can go, forever. So it's worth actually going out, finding the pristine stocks. You can see they're generating apple oak pollen, pretty slow rate. These guys, I pulled all of this out a little while ago. Hey, they've already made another 5 because they're actually fast on the pollen. And then they also make the pollen clusters, which is actually used in making the scented planks. So you can see I had left them run for a while. My shortage right now is beeswax. Let's see, where centrifuge. So beeswax comes out of 50 chance. So basically I need to do dirty combs. Which, maybe not. Let's see, is there something better? Oh, there we go. Mossy combs. That's what I should probably do. So, so the black colored combs come from the black bees. You can get a black colored honey drop all the time. So each one of those should produce a black honey drop. Lime. So basically you get all the various colors. Slimy combs. So, yeah, the bees, you can actually get all sorts of things out of them. So, like I said, works really well. I'm not sure what those are used for. Oh, making iodine for the rainmakers. yeah, that's about it. So that's just a quick little tutorial. The Scooperator 200 is also rechargeable. You use it just like a scoop. I hope this has been helpful. If you want to go on, try it out yourself, you're more than welcome to. I